Hey, what's going on, everybody? Servo here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to take a look at some Reddit topics and see what the community is discussing over there. We're going to be closing out the week with some of these discussions because a reset is tomorrow. I'm so excited to check out new premium shop and also see the results of our community, like the Dream Snap us as a community put together on stream. I'm really excited to see how the results go. But yeah, if you guys enjoy my content, please be sure hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump right into it. All right, so we have a few interesting topics here. We got Deested234 that said, got him in my valley. GameLoft did a great job. I freaking hate him. I love the Cheshire Cat. They absolutely nailed it with him. 1.5 thousand upvotes. Yeah, the Cheshire Cat's really great. I will say that he's very difficult to have him like follow you. He's like frustrating when you use him in a dream snap because he just doesn't want to go in the right spot. He teleports and disappears a lot. But if you can manage to get him in a dream snap, he looks really great, especially with how he's like floating. It's nice to have a character that is elevated in your dream snap rather than, you know, being on the ground. It's nice because then you can have characters beside you and then you can have them up higher. So I think it's a really cool, unique feature, but it is kind of hard to like trap him and get him like in the spot you need him to be. And then we have another post for a Cheshire Cat by Anya's here that said, in my opinion, Cheshire Cat is the most successful character implementation ever. They said, hear me out. The Cheshire Cat is the most interesting character they've added into the game, and his implementation is incredibly well done. We spent a couple weeks wondering what he'd be up to next, wondering what quests we'll have to do. I feel like I was constantly keeping my eyes peeled to see if anything is up in my valley, if I noticed any Easter eggs or changes, or wondering about his arrival. As a companion, he's constantly confusing us and getting on our nerves, the same way he makes Alice feel. He really makes us feel, where did he go now? Is he there? I agree. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It can be frustrating for doing your dream snaps, but when you actually get down to the actual character and personality, they did nail it. And I've talked about this in stream before, but one thing that's really great about Dreamlight Valley is that they truly match pretty much every single character's personality so well, from their like movie counterpart to this game. And it's really nice because we only have that little bit of lore from the movies and, you know, just the scenes that we have seen before. And it's nice to have them in the valley and be able to interact with these characters. So that's one thing that definitely makes Dreamlight Valley so special. And with the Cheshire Chaos event, spotting any pink/purple tone anywhere in the valley gives me a physical reaction now, like we're low-key haunted by him. All of this is just so incredibly entertaining to me, and I love that they designed unique mechanics for him and made his presence in the valley so notable, true to the character. Yeah, they did it with Alice as well, especially with the fact that she can like shrink and grow bigger in the valley is really nice. It's another thing that instead of just having her standing there again in dream snaps doing a pose, you could have her tiny. You could have tiny Alice, or you can have a like a much larger version of Alice of like this one character. And so it definitely is changing up. I feel like Gameloft is evolving the characters and the realms. They've been putting a lot more effort into them, and I'm hoping going forward, it's, you know, it was kind of like a learning process. You know, at the beginning of the game, some of the realms were really small, and then a lot of the like houses were pretty empty and stuff. So it seems like they are getting better and better. So I think, you know, the development team, as they get their groove, as the years go by, we're going to keep seeing more like premium content being pushed out. Now, they said even the staggered rollout of his introduction quest gave me the sense of a presence in our valley as we anticipated his next mess. I know a lot of people have a bunch of grievances with him and the event, but I hope at least some of you are enjoying it as much as I am. Yeah, I like it. I would enjoy it more if it wasn't bugged out on my main account, but I have got to do all this content on my second account, and I did have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, overall, the character, everything, they nailed it. Now we got this next post. I want to include it because I think it's going to help a lot of people that hasn't finished their star path yet. So Shark Unicorns Sparkles said, the things I learned by accident. I'm doing the star path duties. Give gifts to a blonde is the one I am currently on. I gave Kristoff asparagus twice by accident and it counted. I did not know that you could give them the same gifts numerous times. I thought I was limited to only 3 per day. Yeah, so when you come across that star path task where it wants you to like give gifts to a blonde, or even some of the other tasks, you can repeatedly give them the same gift. Doesn't even like have to be a favorite gift. And then there's one to like feed 5 squirrels, or feed a squirrel 5 times. You can feed the same squirrel 5 times. I did not know this either. I was streaming as I was doing this, and the community came through and let me know about that. So yeah, try on those tasks to just repeatedly give the same amount of gifts over and over, and it should count and you can complete it rather than spacing it out and waiting. Now that's different from the specific quest that they ask you to give to, like, you know, a certain set of characters, like their favorite gifts. That's not going to count, but if it's just regular gifts, it will. All right, we got Tia here that said, I feel punished for building. I've had this discussion for a while now. I've spent too much time building my valley, and every biome is heavily built up with buildings, decorations, bushes, and trees. So when it comes to the daily blue chest, it's a nightmare. I miss so many, eventually finding them behind my house, between 2 bushes, under a tree, in an area, and I have to delete stuff to get to it. And no, I can't move stuff. I don't have the room. Yeah, I definitely can understand that. You know, a game that's mainly like the focus is decorating and stuff, they definitely make it pretty difficult for you to even be able to get to your stuff, whether it's the new Cheshire like paw print, like the dig spots, they like to hide them. And then the moonstone chest is a big one. I remember before I decorated, I used to be able to get a lot of my moonstone chests, and now they're implemented in a way where if you like decorate, for the most part, they get put in spots you truly cannot reach. Which really, it's like really unfortunate, because there's only 2 ways to get moonstones in the game besides buying them with real money. It's dream snaps, and then a very small amount by collecting your moonstone chest a day. Now, I always felt like that login bonus should have been something that you got just in your mail. Maybe as soon as you log in, it pops up. Almost every other game I play that has the log on bonuses, they like pop up as soon as you play. It's like for doing your streak, you know, you play every single day, you get little rewards and stuff like that. So I wonder if a part of it is like they did it just so it's harder for people to collect moonstones, therefore it would be like extra money. I mean, I don't know why they made it where the moonstone chests are so hard to find, where eventually people are like, you know what, forget it, I'm not gonna waste my time. I mean, there's a lot of people that's always gonna hunt them down, but a lot are gonna be like, you know what, it's whatever, I'm done. I mean, I've done that. I've missed out on my daily moonstone chest so many hundreds of times, even though I play every single day. So it is unfortunate, and I hope they change it. I don't know if they ever will though. And the next post is actually about decorating posts. Someone said, Barryhead said, please don't come at me or get nasty. Seeing a lot of posts about people feeling penalized for decorating, but I have to ask why. You played the game long enough to know how the mechanics work, like dig spots and random drops and hidden things, and you then made the choice to cover all of your space. Like, why do you think that they would redo the whole game for you? It's not being penalized if it was all placed before you decorated. I love the decorating, but I tried to work with the actual biome to keep the vibe and keep enough space for things to progress the way the game is designed. If you've turned every biome into a full city, it's not on the developers to accommodate you. Well, I mean, it just depends. Again, like the moonstone thing, they could definitely make it where the moonstones don't, you know, go like in spots that you truly have to like tear down your thing. It could almost spawn in an area, like the game could detect based on how many squares, an area that doesn't have much decor. So, you know, if the game would make it where it would like spawn right here, my chest, rather than, you know, maybe like 4 squares that I could have over here, or you know, like right over here in this back corner, if it detects a bunch of items, that'd be nice. So then you could leave a little bit of space. You know, maybe the moonstone chest could spawn over here, maybe it could spawn over here. Now, whenever you put the full path, you can't actually take it all the way to the edges, which is something that's always bothered me. So then stuff will like spawn on the edges, which at the, you know, the other side of that coin, it's nice because you know the stuff's there. But if you have fence up, then you have to tear it down just to access these things back here. Now, they did implement the vacuum, which definitely helps out with that a lot. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to balance. You know, you only have a certain amount of space to decorate, so, you know, with between the resource spawns and actually decorating, it does make it challenging, you know, to be able to do this stuff. But the spawns could definitely be better. like for instance, most of the time my chest will spawn back here. But if the game could detect that there's nothing in like a like an 8x8 square and it spawned it like over here or over here, I think that would be really great. Now for the new event, getting those little dig spots, man, that is challenging, but it is an event and it's supposed to be challenging for sure. If you have your whole valley like mapped out, like this biome with path and stuff, obviously it is going to spawn over here on the edges, like these little dig spots. So there's really no way around that. I don't know. Maybe Gameloft will relook, into it eventually, like in the future, and see what they can do to kind of find a better balance for it. But yeah, it definitely is something the community talks about quite often. And another thing that the community talks about quite often is like this post here by Bloodum here that said, anyone else think the valley is missing someone important? I see this post like every single week, over and over. 458 upvotes. Everybody wants our boy Pluto in the valley. I'm not sure if they would ever add Pluto as an actual character, maybe a companion or a companion style. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I didn't realize Pluto was so popular. I mean, I like Pluto, but I didn't know that he was like the most requested character to come to the game. I've never seen so many posts about any other character other than this one. And then also the dream style for Beast. I think those are like the two posts I've seen the most over the past 2 years. So hey, maybe Dreamlight Valley, Gameloft, they'll see that the community really wants Pluto on the game and they'll implement him in there somehow. But that is it. Just a short little video today. We do have reset tomorrow, like I said, which is going to be very exciting. Lots of new stuff. I'll be sure to do a reset stream in the morning, and I hope to see you all there. So have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.